All right, good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to the new contributor workshops here. Welcome to the Kubernetes Contributor Summit. Thank you so much for registering and being here early this Monday morning. We know it's kind of a long walk to get here from registration, so thank you making that trek. My name is Jonas Rosland. I've been the lead for the Contributor Summit planning for the past couple of months. I've had a wonderful team of volunteers from all kinds of different companies and organizations helping out building and making sure that everything works well here during the summit. So I want to extend a big thank you to all the volunteers that are helping out both previously and today. First of all, we have two workshops. We do have two workshops. We got the 101 and the 201 workshops. And Tim over here will be leading the 101, and Guinevere over here will be leading the 201. So we have a lot of people registered for today. So we have over 300 people registered for Contributor Summit, 330 roughly in total, counting everyone that joined in yesterday. Who joined the celebration yesterday? Hands up. Lots of new people. Awesome. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Cool. Awesome. Glad to hear it. We're super excited to do this today, and we hope you'll have a great time as well. We do have some workshop assistants, tutors. Can you please stand up so people know who to ask if they have any issues? You can see we have 4 people here. Excellent. We got Jeff, Rael, Sylvia, and Ross, making sure that everything works really well in this room, and then we have other volunteers in the other room. And let's see, it's locked.
It's my fingerprint. Very good.
There we go. Excellent. So yeah, I just want to welcome you all on board this journey. This is going to be super fun. We really hope you have a great time today, and I'm going to leave it off to Gwen and Tim. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jonas. All right, I am so excited to be here, and I'm super excited to see all of you here. Today's workshop is going to be hopefully really hands-on, and my general policy is if you have a question, raise your hand. I may not get to it immediately, but I will definitely try to be aware of that as well. I have given this workshop a few times, 3 or 4, depending on how you count it, and we're trying to make it better every time. So it could be that I forgot something that I said at a previous workshop because I thought I'd told you already. So in any case, if something doesn't make sense, please raise your hands just to get that out of the way. My name is Guinevere Sanger. I have been a Kubernetes contributor since late 2017. And I hope that your journey into becoming a contributor is going to be as exciting and fun as mine was. So I have to give credit to this picture. This is from a children's guide to Kubernetes. Who's familiar with the book? Yes, excellent. So Captain QB says hi and welcome. Again, I would like to thank all of the workshop teachers and facilitators. Also, I would encourage everyone at this point to get out their computers. You should have been given this presentation, this slideshow, as a link in an email. If you cannot find it, please ask one of our wonderful facilitators to help you raise your hand. We will be clicking on links, and we will be using this. I don't love sitting in a room where someone is talking at me. I like to have a conversation, so this is for you to participate. Today we're going to start with a general introduction to the community and our standards, how to find your place in the contributor community, where you want to contribute, what do you bring, what do you want to learn, how we communicate, and we are going to give you an introduction to where things are and who to talk to in what situation. Without further ado, let's get started. Who can contribute to Kubernetes? The short answer is everyone can contribute to Kubernetes. Everyone can contribute to Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a huge project. It is not just a ginormous monorepo that lives on GitHub. It is a community of people all over the world. People need other people. You can contribute as a code contributor. You can contribute as a non-code contributor. You can contribute in different areas of code. Trust me, everyone can contribute to Kubernetes. So, why should you contribute to Kubernetes? If you are here, there's really only two reasons why you should contribute to Kubernetes. The first reason is because you want to. You're interested, it's a cool project, it's all the hype these days, everyone is looking for Kubernetes people. The other one is you have to because your boss sent you here and said, hey, what about this contribution thing? What about this Kubernetes thing? Can you somehow get involved? Or, a mix of both. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about why you are here and what you want to accomplish with you in relation to Kubernetes, to the Kubernetes project. I want you to start thinking about what do you do in your jobs? Do you manage people? Do you manage resources? Do you write code? What kind of code? All of that can be your contribution to the project. We can probably use your knowledge. When I say we, I mean the Kubernetes community, but that now includes all of you. You may also want to be here because you want to learn. When I started contributing, I started with contributor documentation because I was just trying to find my footing being a programmer at the time. So as my contributions changed through the months and now years, which is very odd to think about, they got more technical. And that's fine. So if you are here because you want to learn about an area, that is also a place where you can contribute to stretch, where you can learn. This one is kind of related to why you are here. Some of you might just be here out of personal interest or because you are hoping to find a place where you can turn your interest in Kubernetes into a job. Open source participation often gets described as a second job. Sometimes I hear stories about employers that say, well, if you are contributing to open source, what is that doing for our company? Well, again, there are many ways in which your contributions can matter to your company. Say you work for a cloud provider. Well, that one's an obvious one. Say your company is trying to promote a certain product or a certain service. Participating in open source can lead to all sorts of good advertising. It's also, according to my company, it's a great place to find new employees because you can see everyone's contributions out in the open. We do in fact have a document which I should have brought to this presentation that says that will help you justify your open source participation to your boss and your company. And I also shouldn't have said justified because, in my opinion, open source is the way of the future, and companies should be very eager to participate. Nonetheless, we have some resources to help make your companies aware of this fact. I already mentioned my own origin story. go ahead and click on the link. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to make it a little bigger. This is a live demo, by the way, so if you can't see, this is my very first issue that I filed in the Kubernetes community. I am showing you this because at the time I was very frustrated. My coworker had told me I should open a pull request in the Kubernetes community, and I had a really hard time at the time. And so I got mad, and so I filed an issue that says, hey, your documentation, it's kind of a mess. And I'm sharing this because if you scroll down and read the comments, people are remarkably patient with me. I'm still really impressed how friendly and non-confrontational people were in explaining to me that, hey, you know what, this is open source. Welcome to open source. You want to help? You want to help fix it? And I'm sharing this because I know that there are some open source communities that don't do this, that don't assume the best of you, that aren't willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I'm here to say that, at least as far as my experience is concerned, the Kubernetes community is not like that. If you reach out for help, the worst thing that will happen is that no one will see your comment and you'll have to yell a little louder. But once someone hears you, you will get help. Let's go back to the presentation. How do I even? Haha. There we go. So I already kind of talked about figuring out where to contribute. And I have good news and I have bad news. Let's do the bad news first. The project is huge. It is really, really confusing trying to figure out where to get started. Who has had this experience? Yeah? I'm really happy that not everyone's raising their hands. This is exciting. The good news is there are many areas to get started. And in a way, it's a little bit like a choose-your-own-adventure. You look at your own skills, you look at the situation, and you try to figure out where those two fit. Some of you may be here because they work with Kubernetes as an end user every day. Who's in that situation? Some of you may be here because they're academically interested. Yeah. Some of you may have completely different reasons. Some of you may not even want to be here. I hope that's not the case. But in general, the first place to look on where should I get started is to look at yourself. What do you do for your job? What do you do for your hobby? Where are your interests and your skills? So that brings me to the first interactive exercise. Go ahead and talk to those around you. Some of you are sitting at tables, some of you in the back. We're going to take about kind of 5 minutes to get to know those next to you and kind of maybe get some ideas from each other on where you want to contribute. I know, I'm sorry, social exercise. Go. All right. I'm so excited to hear a lot of talking in the room. And I really hope that you all will continue your conversations over lunch and during the breaks. I'm really impressed. By the way, I just learned that if you look under your tables, there is a power cord. You will still need an adapter if you're not from the EU, but you can feed your laptops if you need to. So the next part involves talking. You already did really, really well in the last few minutes, so I'm sure this will not be a problem for you. This is how we communicate in the Kubernetes community. I really like capybaras. If you pay attention to one of those pictures, There is a capybara next to is it a crocodile or an alligator? I never know which is which, but I do know that one of those eats the other. And capybaras are still super chill. So why is everyone so nice in the Kubernetes community? This is not an accident. We have a code of conduct, and I would like everyone to go ahead and follow that link to the code of conduct. Which is a redirect. Yay! Oh, look, and we have lots of languages. I'm going to stick with the English one for now. So we're going to take another couple minutes for folks to go ahead and read through the code of conduct. I'm going to hopefully have it large enough up here. I'm going to scroll down in about 30 seconds or so. But you can also read it on your machines. So who here has never really seen a code of conduct before? Just checking. For an open source community, I mean, specifically. All right. Nope, there we go. Okay, really, really good. We take our code of conduct really, really seriously, and we try to live not by the words, but by the spirit of it. So far, I believe we have been, for the most part, really successful. And it is really the document that we base our community on. Of course, it always boils down to, to treat each other with respect, expect to be treated with respect, but you would not believe how many people we sometimes get in the issues that don't know that they can expect respect of this community. A lot of times we get people who've been hurt by other experiences in previous lives, in previous circumstances, and they're really, really defensive and kind of don't trust it. This is why I think it is so important that everyone really, really be aware of this. Technical questions in Kubernetes. Hi, I can't see who's waving at me in the back. Who here has opened an issue to Kubernetes asking a question on, hey, this doesn't work? Usually what we do is we ask those people to ask those questions elsewhere, because Kubernetes at one point has been the biggest open source repository on GitHub, and it becomes really, really hard to wade through all the issues. We have good ways to ask technical questions are Slack, Stack Overflow, and now we have Discuss Kubernetes as well. So everyone who has their computer out, let's go ahead and follow the link to register to Slack. That's all it takes. Give them your email. And I'm going to show you some of the Slack channels. Let's make this bigger as well. Good channels to start are Kubernetes Dev, Kubernetes Users. There is also SIG ContribX, which is short for Contributor Experience. We will talk about that later, actually in just a few minutes. But for now, let's go ahead and say hi in Kubernetes developers. All right, yes. Yay, I see people following. So this particular channel is where you ask Kubernetes end user questions. Kubernetes users is also a good channel to ask questions. Actually, Kubernetes users is for end users. My bad, I take it back. Kubernetes developers is for questions that you have when you're hacking on Kubernetes or related repositories. Hooray! Keep saying hello. We are going to move on to the next topic of communication. Anyone need a couple minutes? Raise your hand. Everyone good? Super. Let's head over to discuss Kubernetes. We have this forum because some people may not have access to Slack. Also, if you are trying to have Kubernetes discussions in other languages than English, there are a few foreign language channels on Slack, but on Discuss Kubernetes, we actually have regional discussions in other languages, as you can see. Let me make this bigger as well. So let's see, where did I start? Contributors. I started a topic for y'all. So here's some information how to get started contributing. And here is the topic. So let's go ahead. I haven't spent a lot of time. This is how you'd respond. Great to see everyone. So I think signing up for Discuss takes a hot second longer. Is anyone having trouble? You're all awfully quiet.
Sorry, where is this? Is it a Slack channel?
This is a different medium of communication. It is not Slack. This is a Discuss forum. This is a discussion forum. So if you follow the link from the slide, you should be getting to a sign up link. Let's see. Discuss. What is it? Yeah. Cool. All right. I see some comments.
Mine's away. Oh, that's sad. I replied, but it's doing a waiting approval.
Huh. There are a couple of task lists sometimes that you might have to.
Account temporarily on hold.
Interesting. Wow. All right.
Please do continue to browse.
Is anyone else having trouble?
Okay. System. Okay, I've broken it. Your post was approved. The account temporarily on hold.
Interesting. I see a bunch more comments, so hopefully we can figure out some individual technical difficulties. Hey, what's up?
So, one of the cool things about Discuss is there's this nice thing called an auto moderator. So I'm clicking all the approved posts right now.
Ooh. Okay, I'm learning something. What do I have to do?
So, I don't think you can do it, but by default, Discuss considers it suspicious behavior if you sign up and then immediately post.
Interesting.
So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Very cool. Let's see.
One thing I will add, the more that you interact and discuss, the more you generate this quote-unquote trust level, and then AutoMod will not do anything. If you had signed up in like 5 minutes, then posted, it would have been fine. It's just the fact that there's now an onslaught of new users that are suddenly posting.
Did everyone hear that? Very cool. So this is apparently a feature of the auto moderation. So I learned something today. I joined Discuss months ago and never had an issue, but this is cool. Yay. Anyway, welcome everyone. And this is, I guess, our first example of communally debugging technical difficulties. And we will have many more such instances together, I hope. Well, hopefully not too many. Hopefully some things will just work right away. So, other things that we do in the community for planning and discussion, we use mailing lists. This is the next activity for you to sign up. Mailing lists run on Google Groups. And if I go to my groups, nope, yes, I have the Kubernetes developer contributor discussion. And that is the mailing list for Kubernetes contributors. Let me go back to my slide deck. If you just follow the link from the slide, you can sign up for the Kubernetes mailing list. This is where a lot of top-level discussions happen. You can set your mailing list preferences. You can post. But for the most part, this is kind of our newspaper in a way. This is where you read, hey, what's happening in the community. On GitHub, we absolutely discuss things on GitHub. We discuss in issues, we discuss features, and discussions also happen on pull requests. So basically, every time you communicate on GitHub, you want to give everyone as much context for why you're here, what you're doing, what you're asking, what you're proposing as possible. We will talk a little bit more in detail about what that means. Zoom meetings. This is where all of our meetings happen because we are an open source distributed community. We have distributed meetings via Zoom. We have a calendar, and the schedule is on the community calendar. Different groups in the projects have meetings at different times, and depending on where you want to contribute, your meeting schedule will look different. The Kubernetes weekly community meeting is documented here, and you can see the calendar. And the way that you get invites, actually, I don't know how that works for the community meeting anymore, but this link should get you started with finding out where the meetings are, and after that, it should be as simple as clicking on a Zoom link. So right here, where is the Kubernetes weekly community meeting, for example? Zoom video link to participate. Again, this is very, very tiny. Right here, I have this. This is still set on Pacific time. I'm not sure why. But basically, here are your links. The community meeting is open to everybody, and lots of people attend every week. When you're just starting in the project, it might not be the most useful thing for you to attend until you have a little bit more context. That's just coming from me, but if you do, or if somebody is giving a presentation there that you're interested in, it's absolutely worth it to go and listen in. Any questions so far? All right. We will help you get set up with your meeting schedule as the day goes on. Sorry, I said that wrong. Don't worry. I mean, you don't have to go to any meetings if you don't want to. What I'm trying to say is those meetings that you would be interested in, we will help you find. Other communications. This is the community repo. This is a good place to start. If you want, oh, wow, why is my face on there? Code of conduct, videos, discussions, events. This is just a one-stop shop. We also have monthly live video discussion called Meet Our Contributors. It's basically it's a panel discussion where people write in questions and they get answered in a live stream. We also post those videos. We have Kubernetes office hours for technical questions. Whoops. We have Kubecon. Welcome to Kubecon. And we also have face-to-face SIG meetings at these Kubecons. That's where a lot of our current contributors are right now. Meetups are another thing. There are Kubernetes meetups all over the world. I see a question.
Yeah, so I was still messing with discuss. Which slide had the link to the schedule?
Which slide had the link to the schedule? Let me go back. Oops. Right here, Kubernetes weekly community meeting. It is really not obvious, and there's a reason for that, unfortunately, because we've had quite a few malicious spammers on our video calls fairly recently, and so we've had to make some of the meetings invite-only, and I will show you how to get to those as well. So I apologize for it being 3 clicks down. Let me actually click through that for you one more time, just so you can follow. So from here, we have the weekly community meeting. That is for the entirety of the community, of the Kubernetes community. Here is the calendar. And the community meeting is at 10 a.m. Pacific on Thursdays. I have absolutely no idea what that means for this time period, for this time zone. Not good. It's, let's see, actually I can do this. It's 7 p.m., it's dinner time. We do make efforts with other groups and meetings to be less North America centric as well. When I was on the release team last year, we had a European meeting hour just so that the poor Europeans didn't have to stay up until midnight just to attend a meeting. And same, I'm sure, with Asia Pacific contributors. I heard you make a noise. We try. We often fail at that. Please, raise your hand, say something. Say, hey, I would like to have a daytime meeting one of these days. Very cool. So back to meetups. There are Kubernetes meetups all over the world. Go to Meetup Kubernetes. See what you can find. I think I put a link in here that you can follow. So these slides are meant to be a reference for you for later as well. I have a group link slide for this reason. Okay, so we have a little bit of time to change the topic slightly. Who here has heard of a SIG in the Kubernetes community? Awesome. Who here hasn't heard of a SIG in the Kubernetes community? That's the more interesting. Yes, okay. No, raise your hands really high, especially if you're the only few, because I need to know that. SIG stands for Special Interest Group. There we go. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to make anyone dizzy. I just wanted to, I wanted to make this, where is my presentation? Why do I have tabs? Oh, well. So because the project is so big, we organize it, and we do not necessarily organize it by code, we organize it by humans. The topic of interest that connects contributors is what is called a SIG in general. So I put a link for the SIG list in there, but let me just kind of go over what kind of special interest groups there are. Each special interest group is its own kind of subcommunity in Kubernetes. There are 5 types of SIGs. The first type is feature areas. Plumbing, meta, you can read the slide. Let me just talk about feature area SIGs. This is These SIGs have to do with certain parts of the Kubernetes code base. So for example, SIG CLI is concerned with command line tooling for Kubernetes. This literally means, yeah, this is the SIG that hacks on kubectl, kube control. SIG network deals with the networking within Kubernetes clusters and all the related things. SIG scalability, how big can we make a cluster and not break things? You get the idea. Some of you may actually have much more of an idea of what this particular topic is than I do because of your specific areas of knowledge that I don't share. So go over this list and see perhaps where your abilities might match a topic. Then there's plumbing SIGs, that's kind of the nickname. These are the special interest groups that deal with how Kubernetes is put together. How do we provision, how do we make it so that we can provision clusters? How do we want clusters to work? Less feature, more operational. Then there's the project organization SIGs. SIG architecture is about decisions on which direction the project heads. A lot of SIG architecture involves project management as well. What kind of features should we add to the future of the project? SIG contributor experience, that is my SIG. This is the SIG that is organizing your contributor summit so that all of you are having as best of a time becoming and being contributors as possible. SIG PM is project management related. SIG release is in charge of our release cycle and the processes that are related. SIG testing writes our testing infrastructure, which all of you are going to see later in the workshop. We have an entire SIG dedicated to documentation. If anyone in here is really, really excited about documentation, come talk to me, find Zach Corlyson. They are very much eager and willing to help people get started contributing to docs. There's also SIG Cloud Provider. We still kind of do have individual SIGs per cloud provider, but they are, because there's really more of a, like, this is a cloud provider general interest, we have divided them into sub-projects. So you can see Alibaba, GCP, OpenStack, VMware, those are all different cloud providers, which might be really, really specific to only those people. So again, it depends on who you are and why you are here. That brings me to sub-projects and working groups. This can be really, really confusing. Basically, a sub-project is something that belongs to a SIG, but is only part of what that SIG does. So there might be, in SIG contributor experience, we might have the sub-project, Contributor Summit, for example. We might, I don't think we actually do, but that would be something that could be a sub-project. A working group is something that happens when you need to coordinate between SIGs. So, I'm still not great with this. Excellent. Here's a list of working groups. So we have things that might touch multiple SIG areas: resource management, security, machine learning. But they don't have the same kind of focused attention that a SIG does. There's also some differences in management. Here are some examples of sub-projects. My favorite example is always Kustomize. Kustomize is a sub-project of SIG CLI. Sub-projects usually have a really, really tight definition. We are only working on this one thing, and we are doing it as part of a SIG. Kustomize was added to as a subcommand to kubectl, I think in 1.15, Kubernetes 1.15, and but it is still its own sub-project as the features get built out. Then there's user groups. Currently, we only have one user group. It's basically an organizational thing that is for just if users want to share a topic of interest. There's not really a code-based ownership, but it is a way for people to get together and share knowledge. Currently, we only have big data as a user group. All of this can be found on the SIG list. Let's see, where is it? Here we are. In the Kubernetes community repository. It's really just community/SIG list MD. Here are SIGs and working groups. What you will find here are the SIG chairs, the meeting times, the mailing list, which is really, really important. I'll bring that up in a minute. Back to the presentation, we also have committees. This is really for governance. There's a steering committee, project security, and the code of conduct committees. I chucked a link in there just so you know. Now, I talked a lot about how to pick your area of interest. So these are kind of the steps. Figure out what you want to work on, and hopefully by being here, you can find out which SIG is the one that covers this interest. And then all you have to do is join the SIG. How do you join a SIG? You join the mailing list. Excellent answer. Yay. Well done. That's it. People often confuse membership in the Kubernetes organization with SIG membership. They are two completely different things. All you do in order to join a SIG is get on the mailing list, and then you are a member of that SIG. I'm a member of SIG architecture. I think I've attended half a meeting of SIG architecture, although I'm starting to get involved with a sub-project. But yeah, I'm a member of SIG architecture. This is how you get on the mailing list. Go to the SIG list, and I have that in a link from the slides as well. Go to the SIG list and sign up. That's it. You're done. Everybody go home. Just kidding. So this is how you get calendar invites, and then it'll be a lot easier. Then you don't have to click 3 links down because everyone realizes, oh, you joined the mailing list. You're interested in being a member of this SIG. Oh, I have another user group slide in here. Oops. So basically, committees are the only part of the community that is really, really restricted to by invite or by election, because we need to have people have certain skills, or we need to just follow our guidelines to how we select members of these committees. The steering committee gets at least in part elected, so and there's other rules as well. Here's your quick reference if you're more interested. Go ahead and check it out. So now the next part of this community, we have a tiny little bit of time until it's 11, so this is going to be a super fast tour. The Kubernetes project is not just one repository. It is an entire ecosystem of repositories. We have the core repository. Most special interest groups are involved with the core repository. If you follow this link, you can kind of find areas of SIG ownership. We use this file for a lot of different things, including automation. and test automation, how to find a reviewer, project organization. However, there are many, many other repositories that are related to Kubernetes. And not all of them work exactly the same way. My recommendation is if you know of a workflow for a specific Kubernetes subrepository, go ahead and start with that if you start with a new repository. Someone will be along and tell you, oh, by the way, this is actually not how we do things here, but that's okay, as long as you try. Let's actually go back here and go to the core repository, and let's go to the org. So you can kind of see with the pinned repositories, the ones that are most important. We have the core repository, Kubernetes. It is huge. Some of you are going to get a deeper look at what that looks like and where things are later today. Then we have the enhancements repository. We have an entire repository for if you have feature requests and a plan to implement those features. If you follow, there will be a top-level README. This is where you should start if you have a great idea that you want to have a feature in the next edition of Kubernetes. We have the community repository. This is where a lot of our community governance documentation is. This is also where you can find, if you follow contributors, there is the contributor guide, where you can learn about the contributor workflow. This is the reference. There is the developer guide, which contains all the technical details on where to get started, and we are in the process of organizing it, and help is appreciated. Going back, there is the website. We have a repository that creates the website for Kubernetes. This is where the API documentation lives. This is where this is what you see when you go to the official Kubernetes documentation. But this is where that is made. So if that is your jam, this is where you're going to spend a lot of time. One caveat: the Kubernetes website repository has the most different contributor has the most different workflow from all the other Kubernetes repos. There's test infra. This repo mostly belongs to SIG testing. This is where tools like Prow and what's the other one? Tide live. Here's Prow. Here's the test grid. They also have a code of conduct. Here's where you can find information about how to look at your test results, what kind of tests there are, how the tests run, how the CI jobs run. I want to mention at this point that SIG testing is one of my favorite SIGs. Everyone in it is super, super nice and super, super picky. In that order. In other words, they are really, really happy to teach you everything they know. I already mentioned this. And I believe this is the final slide. It is. Until we break out into 101 and 201 sessions. So before I ask if there's any last questions, everyone who is in the 101 session will stay here, and Tim will take over. And everyone who's in the 201 session is going to go across the hallway with me. It is exactly 11. However, I do want everyone to take a 10-minute break. So let's take 10 and meet right here. And I have a question.
What's the difference between the 101 and the 201?
Okay, really, really awesome question. So basically, the 101 is for folks who have never contributed to open source before, or who may not be familiar with our particular development setup. We are going to do a development setup. Jonas is raising his hand. Maybe Jonas is, okay, no? Okay, fine. This is where we are going. 101 is where we will set up a developer environment with Docker, Golang, and Kubernetes. 201 assumes that you have that and that you have previously contributed to open source communities, so that we can really just tweak it and tell you how we do it in the Kubernetes community. Clear as mud?
Hi. What if I already have a Kubernetes inside my computer, but I don't know about how to contribute for Kubernetes? Which one should I choose? And possible 101 and 102?
I think you should try. I think you should try 201. Yeah.
So Amelia, before we head out, we do have a special guest with us here.
Ooh, special guest.
So I just want to say hi to everybody. You mind if I steal the mic, Gwen?
Hi, Joe. You can steal the mic anytime.
No, that's not how it works. So first of all, thank you for an awesome intro and cute elephants. Adorable. So I'm Joe. I'm one of the founders of Kubernetes, and I just want to welcome everybody. I think it's awesome to have you here. It's awesome to see folks that are interested in getting involved. There's folks like me, and Tim, come on up. Tim Hawken has been involved since the very beginning also. And
Hi.
so we're going to be floating in and out and, hanging out. I got like a gazillion things going on. It turns out that for this conference, Monday ends up being the busiest day somehow. But there's folks like me, there's folks like Tim, there's a lot of folks that are going to be around. If you have questions, if you need help, Gwen, please ask. We're here to try and give you a jump start so that that you can get involved, and we're really glad that you're here. Thank you.